Hail and well met. Welcome to episode, who knows, of the Westgate Irregulars on the Dungeon Scrawlers channel. I am Eric Scadby, the DM of this campaign, usually, and I am joined tonight by special guest, friend of the show, major support. We wouldn't be here without her, Allie Pitchford, who is playing Shae Darksong in tonight's game. She's going
Indeed.
to talk about Shae in a second, but in the meantime, I am going to tell you about some of our special announcements. And I got to unmute myself on Google Meet so that the captions are picking up. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Everyone who couldn't hear what I said, now you can read what I said. I'm Eric Scott to be. This is Allie Pitchford, and here are the special things going on tonight. So we are trying to raise money for a character art piece collection of all of the characters, similar to what we did in the first place, but like a commemorative artistic piece for book 4. And it would represent this long journey that we've all been on, and I'm really excited. We're raising money for it. It looks like we need $832, which seems like a pretty steep goal, but we're going to do our best. Head over to our Ko-fi. You can do !KOFI for a link. Toss us a couple bucks if we have entertained you and you want to see the new evolved characters, Caliph with the bone wings, Surge missing a hand, etc. Please kick in. And I think we'll be assembling a list of people who assisted us in bringing this to life and thanking them on the stream. So if you want to get in on that, we very much appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Also, Twitch has a new charity section. We're testing out their tool for by trying to raise money for the International Rescue Committee, which is the War on Ukraine relief. There should be a new box somewhere in the doobly-doo, the interface down below. Let us know if it works, if there's anything wonky about it. It's a brand new sort of thing. I'm not sure if we have any giveaways. I'm sure Yang Yang will tell me if we do. But in the meantime, Allie, welcome. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. Well, I've already been given a pretty sweet intro, honestly. But yeah, I'm Allie Pitchford. I'm a writer, game designer, many other things, many other hats. But yeah, I'll be playing Shae, the rogue shadow dancer cleric of Illustrate that always seems to be around in the background somewhere, and certainly tends to be the right-hand woman of Illyra Nathalin.
Okay. Let's see. I think we have a I wanted to do a couple of shout outs to a couple of sponsors that we have. You've heard us talk about these constantly. So now it's just going to be me talking about them completely off the cuff. Let's see how this goes. First of all, we have Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which has many, many characters. The Drizzt characters, the Baldur's Gate characters, the Brimstone Angels characters, a bunch of like gaming stream characters, all brought together in one mishmash adventure in the realms, kicking ass, taking names, and it is fantastic. It appears on console games, on PC, on your phone, on anything that beeps and makes noises and sends signals to other devices. You can play on your own. You can play multiplayer, and you can also play through us by clicking to get a free Electrum Chest here. The instructions should be down below. Please let us know if you get anything really cool. That game is, well, it has been going for a number of years now, and they have some really great content, and I think you really enjoy it, so you should check it out. We're also sponsored by 2 dice companies, Phoenix Dice, which specializes in making dice that are from recycled products, rising from the ashes, as it were. Maybe these dice committed a great deal of dice rolling sins and rolled too many ones, and that's why they ended up in the recycle bin. But now they are back and here to redeem themselves. We are also sponsored by Norse Foundry, which makes all kinds of high-end dice. metal dice, wooden dice, just beautiful, beautiful dice that will destroy the heck out of your table and or your foot if you step on them. So be very careful, but do tootle over to Norse Foundry to check out what they have on offer. There are some links below that will give you more information about those things. All right. And on that note, I think we are good to go with our game. So, Allie, Shae Darksong is a woman of many experiences, disparate dreams, identities, stories that she has gone through. I think it's fair to say that it has been a bit confusing, not just for the audience, but for her as well. What's real? What's not? What's just a dream? What is a true experience? Where she should be going in life? She feels at a crossroads, but a crossroads multiplied many times. There are so many paths ahead of her, so many possible experiences to seek out. But there's something that keeps pulling her back. And so when she awakens this fine night in Westgate, the rain pounds on the tiles of the Purple Lady Fest Hall and Tavern, and she has stirred from her reverie that lasted all day, and she has come to some sort of decision, or at least thought of the path that she should take. What is she thinking? What is she feeling? And where is she headed? Go.
Well, certainly she I mean, I guess this all depends on how much she remembers of all these weird disparate paths and all the weirdness that's occurred.
Well,
But
how much does she remember?
bits and pieces, I would think.
Mhm.
The end of a world that didn't end. The being caught in a place of darkness, being something more than what she is, and yet trapped and fighting herself on multiple occasions. It's all confusing, but I think I think she tries at the moment. She's trying to grasp what's in front of her because she needs something to grasp onto, needs a grounding of some kind because again, it's all jumbled, it's all a mess. Uh so she'll get up, kind of take a few moments to sort herself out because even in the reverie, the memories and dreams and all the pieces don't fit together.
Yeah, the
And
reverie seems to make it worse, in fact.
mm,
Most people just have disparate dreams, idle firings of their subconscious. Elves, when they take their trance, their reverie, experience their memories, relive their lives. Shae has overlapping memories, overlapping lives, because unlike all the people around you, you seem to remember everything from different perspectives too. And it's very hard to sort out.
mm,
So yeah, you get up, you're wandering around, kind of get your bearings. You're in the Purple Lady. There's definitely dancing and feasting going on downstairs. It seems the party has started early this night, but the sun is down, so you don't have to worry about the discomfort that comes with the sun's rays.
yeah. Uh I'm sure she'll also take a few moments to have a bit of a back and forth with her now constant companion, um, her shadow, which is always there. I'm sure it says something snipey, but
So does your shadow talk to you with a voice, or does it only speak to you through some kind of empathic connection?
I think it speaks to the voice.
Okay.
It speaks to her with her voice, but not her voice. It's kind of like it sounds like her, but it's off. Uh, she might get glimpses of, you know, because it occasionally does move of its own accord. She does have it under a good deal of control, but it does still have a will of its own. And she might catch glimpses of golden eyes out of the corner of her eye on occasion,
Did you
watching her from the shadows.
did you sleep well?
I slept.
Mm.
Well, remains to be seen.
You know that I am weaker when there is less light to cast me.
I know that, but I also know that getting up any sooner tends to be highly uncomfortable for us both.
Yes, that is true. I would definitely dislike burning up in the sun. Do you think that will happen to you if you were to wait for the dawn?
She has a sudden flash of herself wearing the mask and red scarf, teeth tearing into somebody.
With the Night
Shakes her.
Queen watching
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
smiling. Mhm.
And she kind of, I don't think that would happen.
No, that is good. We will persist another night.
As we ever do. She'll kind of take a moment to shake off that flash of memory. And which every time she has a memory of that particular self, she gets an itch in the back of her throat. That kind of thirst that she always hates so much. And she'll go to her little chest of drawers off to the side and rummage around, pull out a little vial, little metal flask she always keeps on hand. She probably has a few of these prepared, and we'll just down the contents.
Mhm.
Uh,
That soothes the hunger somewhat.
Somewhat.
Mhm.
All right.
What is it
Tonight.
tonight then?
What is it tonight?
Yes, what do we do this night? I see we're not feasting on anyone.
Ideally, no. You know I don't.
Yet.
Not that her memories don't contradict that. Uh,
That's right.
uh, Look, we're not going to sort all this out by ourselves, are we? I need air. I need to find Ilra. I
Yes,
can't.
good. Stop talking to yourself. Go talk to her. She will make everything better, everything brighter, everything warm again.
Hopefully. She
All
has
right.
another flash of memory. The conversation they had where Ilra refused to open up to her, to speak to her, to essentially summarily dismissed her at the end. The fact that they'd been distant, at least for a time, following that, and yet that memory inevitably leads to the end of the world, and that didn't happen. And so she's just kind of left standing there for a moment, trying to sort that out. And then she'll leave the room.
Okay. So yes, there is a revel going on down in the Purple Lady. It is possibly a bit subdued, which tells you immediately that Ilra is not here. Whenever she's here, the revelry kicks up to the next level. And so you can tell immediately just by the energy in the room. People are dancing, drinking, there are bards playing. They're playing the latest Stong Makuk ballad, which sounds very, very loud and difficult to listen to, but they have attempted to make it a little bit extra melodic, which that does not improve it. You do see one of your co-workers at the bar
All right.
who waves to you and you approach.
Yeah, Shae will wave back a little bit. She probably looks a little hungover, honestly, but part of that's the I don't think she's been getting as much rest as she should. With all the fact that the reverie plunges her into those disparate memories. And when she does rest, yes, the reverie she does on occasion, but I also imagine that sometimes she just sleeps because at least in sleep it's only dreams.
Right.
Though those get a little crazy as well. But she'll kind of wave and lean her elbows on the counter.
So tell me about your colleague. What's this person like?
Well, I'm seeing a tiefling because those are fun.
Yeah.
I'll call her. What will I call her? Nira.
Nira. Okay.
Kind of a youngerish, kind of fairly maybe early 20s, kind of woman. Bit of reddish tinge to the skin, dark hair, but fairly. I don't know. I don't know. I like contrasts. So rather than being like the dour, grim sort of tiefling, she is kind of
Upbeat,
brighter,
perky.
upbeat. Yeah.
Okay. She looks up at you, flashes you a toothy little smile. You feeling any better, lovely?
I'm feeling something. No, I'm feeling. I got some rest. I'm a bit worn down, but I'll survive.
You're probably looking for Illyra, aren't you?
You wouldn't be wrong.
She said you might be. She left this for you, and she slides across a note
Oh.
along with a glass of something red. She slides across to you.
Oh, Shae will pick up the glass, but then take the note, set the glass back down for the moment.
Nira looks at you expectantly. You see your tail kind of swishing.
Oh. And all right, and she'll unfold the note.
Okay. The note would appear to be an invitation to a revel at the house Athogdal, which is one of the noble merchant houses in the old city here in Westgate, not too far away. And the revel is for tonight.
Wow, that's all a bit short notice. Okay.
Nira looks to the drink, then she looks up at you. She goes, "Well,"
Shae will take it and she'll hesitate a moment and then she'll just not take a drink.
okay. So Nira is attempting to pick out the right drink for you just based on how you look when you approach the bar, because it's a trick that Shae herself does all the time, and Nira is trying to emulate it. How successful is she?
I mean, I'm guessing that this is a very iron infused drink, let's say.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll Nira's insight here. Oh boy, she rolled a 4.
Okay.
So it's either too irony or not irony enough, which is ironic.
Yeah, I think either way, Shae will just kind of like and Oh,
Nira frowns. I think I got the mixture wrong.
uh, I mean, maybe you're close. Not
Well,
quite what I was expecting.
at least I didn't try and boil an actual piece of metal this time.
Yeah. Oh, that was not good that time. No, that was awful. Uh,
Well, I'll work on it.
uh, Thank you. I appreciate that. And she'll kind of set the drink back down.
Do you need a
Uh,
dress? I mean, for the revel. You're going to the revel, obviously. That's where Iller went.
yeah, I'll be going to the revel. Uh, well, so much for my complaints that she never takes me anywhere nice. I guess I will. I think the last one I had got a little torn up in the well, fighting. It was fighting. It wasn't torn up for any fun reasons, unfortunately.
That's a shame. Well, I have several dresses if you want to borrow one.
Well, do you have something fit for a rebel like this?
Darling, all of my dresses are fit for a revel like this. It just depends on exactly how alluring you want to be.
Oh, that is a good question. I mean, I don't doubt that this revel invitation is for a reason. Illyra doesn't just go to revels for. I mean, she can go to revels for fun, but there's usually an underlying motive of some kind. But I could have a bit of fun with this.
Right. Anyway, I set them aside in the private room. If you want to just go find one, let me know which one you, well, I mean, you're going to have to show me which one you choose, obviously.
Obviously, I'll go take a look and I'll let you know. Shae will leave the drink and then make her way to the private room to
Okay.
examine the dresses then.
Okay. Yeah. Black, slinky, red, shiny, the whatever you like. Obviously, Nira has a certain taste,
Hmm.
and that taste is questionable, but also, appealing.
Okay. Well, uh, anything purple.
Okay. Yep, there's a purple one.
Okay. Well, she will pick the purple one. I'm assuming it's some kind of a fairly alluring cut of some kind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So definitely pick the purple then.
It's maybe a little bit tight. Nira's very petite, and Shae is a little bit more athletic. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Anyway, yep, fits well enough. Nira seems pleased. You head off on your way.
Yeah. Head off. I think after taking time to get changed and everything, Shae will make sure that she has at least some kind of bladed weapon secreted on her person somewhere. Uh, because what good thief doesn't keep a blade on them at all times?
That's right.
Uh, so
Okay.
in fact, I'm imagining something dress-wise backless, which means that her tattoo would be on full display
Excellent. Yep, that works.
because Shae, to those who haven't been around before, and to when Shae's been around and had her back visible, has a very large back tattoo of a dagger wreathed in flames.
Which, for those who haven't been around Westgate very much, is kind of the signal of the symbol of the fire knives. So, yeah. All right. You're going to make quite a stir.
That's the idea.
Okay. So, you head out and you head out on your way.
Indeed.
Okay. So house Athigdal is in the Old City. Athigdal is one of the lesser houses, but it's the most powerful of the lesser houses. It was a member of the Merchant Council, but it lost its status a few years ago to the Goto clan and Mirren Dark Dance's claim on the council as well, which Athigdal is always taken as a kind of insult because Mirren doesn't take it very seriously, and no one on the council really likes the Shao, and so they're not big fans of the Goto clan getting onto the council. Anyway, so Athigdal has always tried to get back onto the council, but however much money they throw at the city, it never seems to be working, which might explain why they're holding this huge public revel. When you get outside, I assume, okay, did you walk? Did you take a carriage? Did you dance through the shadows to get there? How did you get there?
I think she'd probably dance through the shadows, honestly, because it's the easiest method at her disposal.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, you slip through, appearing basically on the street level. You're not in a carriage, but people are crowded around the entrance to this big house, and they're basically letting people in if they have invitations, first of all, but they also will let people in just as the night progresses.
Okay.
And as the numbers warrant. So let me get you some good description here. So on Woodside Way, which is a big road that runs through Westgate, stands Castle Athigdal, a well-maintained and appointed but relatively moderate-sized walled manor. The grounds are dazzling, crammed full of statuary painted in bright colors, multiple fountains full of exotic fish. You have spent some time here. You've gone through, and you know that the fish are replaced every couple of 10 days or so, as they don't seem to thrive in the pools here. You have watched them do that, and it is very amusing to see Westar try and fumble these exotic fish. You once saw a worker get kicked in the face by one of the fish. It was pretty amusing. House Athigdal loves to show off its wealth. Its heirs haunt artistic shows in Westgate. So when you have been kind of casing out artistic shows, statuary, paintings, that kind of thing, you will never not see at least one person from House Athigdal with a coterie of hangers-on who are constantly talking about art, right? Like they understand it. But the most beautiful, striking, and most importantly, expensive decor shows up in the actual manor itself. You have not been inside the manor, not recently anyway. So you're kind of, this is kind of an opportunity to see what they
Yeah.
think is the best, because they haunt these shows buying up expensive art objects to display in the manor house.
Okay.
All right, so you present yourself at the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm also just kind of envisioning Shae on occasion, just like perched on a high place, just watching stuff like that happen. The fish and all that, just sitting there, watching stuff.
That's right. Shae has seen many things in the city, many things that people would like to keep secret, many things that are very commonplace things, just observing everything. All of it is part of your training. All of it are things that Ilra has asked you to do or implied that maybe you should do. And while it seemed boring at first and tedious at many times, it has given rise to some very interesting insights and some interesting pieces of information that have served you well over the years. And it has been years that you've been living here in Westgate. So, all right.
Certainly.
You present yourself at the door. There's a very
Yep.
burly bouncer who is like, "Do you have an invitation?" Or looks
I,
at your very fine, a little bit gaudy and kind of. I mean, I mean this in the best possible way, kind of slutty attire, right? And he's like,
she wears it
uh,
well.
"Are you, or are you just waiting with the rest of the rabble?"
uh, I have an invitation, and she'll produce what Ilra left for her, the invitation.
Ah,
Uh,
of course. Of course, my lady. Please, this way.
Thank
He
you.
ushers you inside. My apologies. I did not realize.
It's quite all right. And she'll kind of, do her most imperious little sweep past.
Yep. Several people look over at you and they start whispering because Shae is very striking. Shae is,
Mhm.
um, well, you know what Shae looks like. Why don't you describe Shae for our audience here?
Shae is a fairly lean elven woman with a kind of ash gray colored skin, uh, stark silver hair with a few streaks of black in it. Um, uh, her build, as I said, is very athletic. She does have a bit of a curve, but not overly so. I think the most striking thing about her these days is her golden eyes, which have kind of an unearthly quality to them. Obviously, there's the tattoo on her back, but there's also what appears to be a tattoo on her, I believe, left shoulder of a kind of a moon wreathed in silver fire with a sword that stands uh, vertically before it. Kind of very old, resembles a very old emblem of Illustrae. It's inked in silver ink on her skin, or it looks like silver ink at the very least.
Yep. You wear your faith on your sleeve, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not all that signifies. Shae is a woman of many secrets.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and she definitely attracts some looks while she heads in. So the interior of the Athigdal Manor is grand and gaudy. Like all the art here, much of it might be beautiful on its own, but all put together, it doesn't make any sense. And it's just a strange assortment of what were clearly the most expensive pieces at any of the galleries that the heirs haunted. And it just like it's kind of making Shae's persistent headache maybe a little bit worse, just looking around at all of this. And the people are equally gaudy. Um, it seems that the style in Westgate this season has been to augment dresses and coats and outfits with precious metals. So there are gold and silver dresses with just adorned with jewelry all over. And it's helpful that it's been a cool night because otherwise those people would be sweating up a storm. You can smell a very thick uh, kind of blanket of perfume throughout the chamber, especially since your senses are somewhat heightened compared to those of a normal person. And well, they probably need that to cover up the smell of their what their bodies naturally do in
Mm.
such hot, oppressive clothing. What you're wearing is, by comparison, much lighter and more comfortable.
Very true. Not that I imagine Shae sweats much these days. Not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how her physiology works exactly after being made what she is. Um, but she'll look around, take note of the dresses. Kind of a lot of it is a bit like, sure, okay, people might have complaints about her attire, but some of these outfits are just atrocious to her eyes.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas like hers is like, I imagine there's quite a bit of skin visible. Um, and definitely a good means to keep cool.
Okay. So, yeah, you see a good number of nobles, They're dancing around. They're talking, they're gossiping, there's intrigue all around the place. Some of them you notice that are familiar to you. You've seen them before. You've collected secrets on them. You've stolen from some of these people, obviously. How do you feel entering a place like this, full of so much power and influence?
I mean, it's exciting. It's because on the one hand, Shae kind of having grown up the way she did, which like she was an urchin. She was living on the streets. That's how she became a thief in the first place. Like being in a room like this with these powerful people, there's a degree of excitement, also a degree of disdain, because she's never thought of them very highly, never thought of people like this very highly, because they are the haves. They are the people that have so much that they lose sight of what at least what Shae would see as the important things. And she's never thought of them as more than deluded jerks who hoard all the wealth for themselves and see people beneath them as not really people. So being able to be there and with very few the wiser, I'm sure, as to who she is or where she came from, there's a certain power there. There's a certain excitement, and she likes coming to stuff like this, rare as it might be.
All right. So, as you were standing there and taking it all in and kind of letting the atmosphere wash over you, two people come over to you or just kind of venture near you. And they are two people that you know, Calder Evergard and Shmi Sheath, who are nobles from two different clans. One, an old guard Westgate blooded clan, and one, a Shao immigrant family. And their relationship is a bit scandalous. Like, they defied their families and got into this kind of scandalous connection, and rather than just leave it all to the wayside when confronted, they both abandoned their houses and created a new house called Evershmi, which is kind of a connection of their two names. They're one of them is wearing a suit of just bright red with rubies along the collar, and the other one is wearing a cloth of gold embroidered suit with also red gemstones that calls to mind his husband's attire as well. Okay. And they come over to you, and they're like, Lady Darksong, it has been so long.
It has, hasn't it? I feel like Shae likes them just specifically because that whole flouting tradition and sticking together kind of thing. She respects that. But yeah, it's
No, that's definitely and we're going to say that they owe a little bit of their own relationship. They owe some credit to Shae for helping them out of a bind. Oh. And so they say, "Oh, yes, we have yet to feast you at the manor. You have been so busy."
There has been a lot going on. I apologize. I certainly would love to stop by.
That sounds wonderful. I suppose you are looking for your lady, are you not?
I suppose I am transparent, but yes.
Calder looks over at Shmi and is like, now, that's such a rude question. And Shmi is like, No, you know. Well, we did see her dancing quite recently, but she may have retired to get a drink, and she will return soon, I am certain.
That's good to hear. I might have to find a drink myself. Have the two of you been enjoying the revel so far?
Well, as much as one can at such a tedious place, says Calder. And this time Shmi looks at him like, seriously, dude? But not in a way that he disagrees.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, yes, it is to be expected. But you see, the folk. Calder leans forward toward you and says, this whole democracy thing that they have going, I am suspicious. And Shmi says, now. I'm sure this will be for the best. You're just jealous that you did not receive a nomination for Crowmark yourself. And Calder says, well, am I that transparent?
I'm sure we'll see how it all shakes out. I personally think that this is for the best, but we'll see.
Yeah. Shmi, who also comes from kind of a lower income background, seems to be very supportive of this democracy thing. And Calder, who is born into money, is a little bit, I don't know. But yeah, they head away more or less reassured. Shmi says, blessings of Sune Firehair upon you in your romantic endeavors. And he gives you a smile and then heads off.
Thank you. Well, at that, Shae will then kind of look around, keeping an eye on the crowd and the people, but also trying to spot where one might acquire a good drink. Because even if she can't find Illira over there, she'll at least acquire something to occupy her for a moment and perhaps soothe any edges on her nerves.
Okay. Yeah, you head over to the bar over there, which is, I mean, it's not as well stocked as the Purple Lady Bar, obviously, but they do have some decent vintages, and they pour you a drink. You do see the kind of slightly lank-skinned, dark, curly-haired man, Roman Cormeral, standing at the end of the bar, and he is kind of sulking into his wine. He looks displeased. Now, what do you know about Roman? You know that the Cormerals were formerly allies of House Bleth, and Roman was supposed to marry Regante Bleth, who is the head of House Bleth, but she refused him, and that kind of led to a schism between their two houses. He lost a great deal of face when that happened, but he seems to have largely abandoned any hope of changing her mind. When Regante makes her mind up about something, she's kind of set on it, and he is now searching for something else to do. He sees you, and he looks a little confused. He's like, do I know you?
Maybe, maybe not. Why the long face, Sunshine?
He looks like he's trying to figure out if, like, you're a noble or a merchant or you're hired for the night. He's not sure. His insight is failing him. He says, well, if you must know, my romantic endeavors of the evening are not going to my tastes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Certainly I can understand how frustrating that can be.
Really, you, one as beautiful as yourself, cannot fail to have suitors bowing at your feet.
Well, Sometimes it's not about what presents itself to us, but what we want, isn't it?
Just so. He waves and the bartender brings you the better stuff.
Thank you.
Do you have your eye on someone in particular, mysterious lady in purple?
I tend to. Uh, though I don't know if she's here at the moment.
I
She'll kind of
see.
cast her eyes at the dance floor. But who is it that has your attention?
Hmm. So I want you to make a persuasion check to get this guy to open up to you.
Okay. Where do you want me to go ahead and do that?
You can just use physical dice if you want
All
to.
right. I got dice. In fact, I have the dice you gave me.
Excellent.
I can remember where I put them. Well, I will just use Google has a dice roller.
Yeah, that's fine too.
All right. I rolled a nat 20.
Oh my God. All right. So, two things. Not only is he drunk enough to open up to you, but you happen to know who he's interested in because you have acquired that information on one of your fact-finding missions. And but you only had a suspicion, but then he confirms it to you. And what he says is he goes into this story about they split from House Bleth. He has also noticed the tattoo on your back, and perhaps that is part of what allows him to speak up. Bleth and Cormeral both have some sway with the fire knives, right? So he thinks that you are an ally. Even if he doesn't know exactly who you are, you just seem familiar. He's like, oh, okay, fire knife operative. Great. So he tells you that since Regante shattered his heart in 1,000 pieces, he says dismissively, he has set his sights on the one who usurped his house's place on the council, and he is making his best effort to woo Mirren Darkdance because he assumes that if he marries her, then their houses can be combined and he can get back on the council. He's telling you this.
Question.
He's telling you this story, and you know beyond a shadow of doubt that he is utterly hopeless in this endeavor. Like, there's no way he's going to succeed at this.
Well, I mean, as an aside, like as an out of character aside, aren't Illyra and Mirren, aren't they openly married?
Yes, but he doesn't consider that a significant detail. Like he says, like, yes, well, obviously the lady can have whatever lovers she wants, but politically speaking, our houses must combine. It is simply destiny. You understand? And then he's drinking more.
Yes, I think I see what you're getting at, but well, surely there must be an easier target. You certainly have your work cut out for you.
Yes, well. I suppose she is probably a difficult woman to please.
Shae has a moment. You'd be surprised. Go on.
He looks at you. He's like, so, do you think you can assist me? I could not help but notice your mark.
She will wince slightly at that. But perhaps, depending on what you have in mind, though, well, certainly can't promise any measure of success. The Lady Darkdance is a willful woman, and certainly I'm certain there's some noble rose here that would probably suit your purposes better.
Well, she is my best option. do this for me, and I shall reward you quite handsomely. See that she happens to come out onto the balcony at the stroke of midnight, or slightly there before. I shall be in wait, and we shall just inadvertently meet one another. I'm sure you can lure the lady through some means.
Yes, yes, I'm sure. I'll see what I can do.
Good.
She'll just kind of, with that, she'll just kind of smile, do a bit of a curtsy, and then kind of weave her way into the milling people,
Okay.
trying desperately not to laugh.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're like, there's no way that's gonna happen.
no, no way in hell.
Anyway,
Like she might try to find Mirren and tell her about it just so the two of them can laugh, but because yeah, I mean, I imagine then Mirren is here.
well, sure enough, when you head out into the group of people, a hand touches your arm and you turn around and you see Marin is there. And she is in a resplendent blue dress that seems to like weave away into a nothingness as it approaches the floor, like this persistent magical effect. And she says, Shae, you're here.
I am, and under normal circumstances, Shae might have like immediately spun around and hugged her. This is not the venue for that, so she will just kind of curtsy, Lady Dark Dance, and with that kind of smirk that she's being very playful about it.
Ah, I could see Roman Cormerel talking you up at the bar there.
Yes, I suppose it's my advantage that he doesn't quite know who I am.
Hmm. Did he
Or
say something to embarrass himself?
oh, he said more than a few things, but and she'll kind of hush her voice a little bit. Seems he has his eyes on you
Again. Well,
again.
I shall simply have to disappoint him. He
Yeah,
is rather disappointing himself. So he thinks he's been subtle and he thinks he's been interesting, and he has been neither.
that is my impression at the same time. Yes, he apparently seemed to mistake me for one of his, well, for a lackey of some kind. He seems to convinced that I can lure you out onto the balcony at a certain hour to meet him. I thought it more amusing than anything else.
It's the tattoo, isn't it?
It's the tattoo. I really need to get it
Yes.
removed.
Well, Mirren is, of course, covered in arcane markings and tattoos all over her arms and hands, and on her neck and on her head. You happen to know that like all of her head is covered over with runes, although currently she does have a shock of blue hair that is starting to like tumble down a little bit below her shoulders. You've never seen her wear her hair kind of long before, but
Mm-hmm.
it's been she's been doing that recently.
Okay.
And she says, yes, well, the things that mark us never really go away.
No, no, they don't. Uh,
Speaking of which, you're probably looking for my wife.
I am.
Hmm.
I always tend to be, don't I?
Well, she sent me a message to give to you, a challenge, if you will. And on that note, she said something about the stroke of midnight. Yes, that's a suitably romantic time, I believe. And she wants you to find her, and that is, well, less than a quarter of an hour from now. Barely the time for 2 or 3 songs. Best of luck.
Nothing's ever simple.
Another merchant comes up and says, "Oh, Lady Darkdance, I think I'm on your card." And she says, "Ah, yes, of course. Come then," and goes and dances with that guy,
Oh,
which is not entirely like a normal Mirren interaction. Usually, she's
mm-hmm.
very scatterbrained and like not really into the political
Yeah.
gamesmanship stuff, but she seems to be operating on a pretty high level this evening.
She is on tonight. Okay.
Yes.
Shae will just kind of sigh and just like mutter to maybe herself, maybe to her shadow, just going, "Why is it never easy with her?" But then, well, time to go find her, as if it wasn't already what I was doing. Uh,
So you're looking around the dance floor. Illyra strikes a very prominent figure in any dancing situation that she's in. She loves to dance, and she seems to be born for it in that way that only elves who have lived nearly 2 centuries can. It is 1496, and you are pretty sure that her 200th birthday is the following year. So, but she is not here and not dancing on the dance floor. Otherwise, you definitely would have spotted her.
yeah.
Time is ticking down.
Well, the next place I think she would look, it would be, well,
My God,
knowing.
Rumpus offered a hilarious suggestion in the chat. He said, just walk around just yelling, Illyra, for 15 minutes. Press X to shout Illyra.
Oh my God. Maybe nothing so overt. Well, knowing Illyra, I think Shae would, instead of, since she's not on the dance floor, she's not making a spectacle, she's not making herself visible and known, then she's probably skulking about somewhere. So I think Shae would slip off away from the crowd, try to find, little side rooms, nooks, crannies, places of interest that, might have something or someone interesting in them that might draw Illyra there.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Investigation. Boo. Well, that's not bad. That's let's see. I'll actually open my character sheet here. Because I rolled a 17, but I actually have a decent investigation, so I think I have a decent investigation. Let's prove me wrong. Here we go. Yeah, okay. So it's an 18.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good result.
It's a good result, but a +1 is not a decent investigation.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so you find some alcoves and some mercy closets where things are happening. A lot of assignations and dealings in the shadows, all very interesting things, but none of them containing the woman you seek.
Well, perhaps then a place with something of value.
Okay. So, in the Athigdal mansion, everything has at least some value because everything is bought for a great price. You suspect over your years of spying on the doings of the merchants in Westgate that the Athigdal family largely uses the procurement of art as a means of cleaning money. And that this is largely a money laundering scheme, like the art world and the real world. Sorry, did I say that out loud? All right. And so you're looking around at paintings and busts and statues and jewels, but nothing really strikes you as really valuable until you wander into the sitting room. It's technically the sitting room, but there is a large throne in it, which this is a pretty standard Westgate affectation that they don't have any kings, they don't have any rulers, but there's a certain degree of monarchy cosplaying that goes on. The merchant houses like to emulate and project strength in this way. So almost every merchant manse has a throne room with a expensive chair with lots of decoration. The Athigdal manse is no different. And you get in there, and there's this gaudy seat just covered in gemstones. There are sideboards with, expensive bottles of liquor. There are tapestries depicting great historical moments from elsewhere in the realms. There are 2 golden statues of perfect humanoid forms. Human, elf, you're not really sure, but they are very detailed and articulate. And it is in this room that you finally find Illyrin Athelin. And she is standing near the throne, admiring it or inspecting it. Because admiring is kind of a big word for any art in the Athigdal manner.
Yeah. Well, Shae will approach, and I think the first thing she says is, "There's really no accounting for taste, is there?"
Not theirs, that's for sure. I was wondering where you'd be more likely to find me. Here in the throne room or up on the parapet.
I thought about that next.
I suppose I was impatient. She looks over her shoulder. You still look tired. Are you all right?
Not as such, I suppose. My reveries have been troubled when I have them.
She nods. Well, perhaps what I would ask of you this night will give you more pleasant things to think about.
I don't think that would be hard.
So, she looks around and she steps up towards Shae and just short of touching Shae, just slips into her shadow and appears next to the door, which just closes the door, leaving you 2 alone in the throne room.
Well, Shae will turn, just kind of like absently, just kind of seat herself on the throne, maybe kick a leg up. What did you have in mind?
Well then, now, restrain your enthusiasm. I have a task for you tonight, but I think it is one that you will enjoy. It is important. Now, you see, the folk of Westgate have elected a new ruler, or are poised to do so. They are still counting the ballots. It is interesting to see humans adopt this government style. We elves obviously went through this several times and it has only worked out so well on a couple of occasions. But there is a new ruler, and of course the merchant houses are seeking to influence this count toward their own benefit.
Of course.
Now, the fledgling democracy is important, but at the same time, certain trappings and certain traditions are still valuable, symbolically mostly. And to this end, I wish you to find something, a symbol of rulership, the scepter that the king of Westgate wielded centuries gone.
That would be quite the find.
Well, it is, fortunately, here in this very house. I have reason to believe that House Athigdal has obtained the scepter, and it is in their vault. I could steal it myself, but, well, here you are.
Here I am. And it's always more fun to do these sorts of things together. How long has it been since we've been on a proper heist?
Entirely too long, Sweetling.
Well, that is exciting.
So, how would you wish to proceed?
Well, do we know where the vault is in the house?
Below the house. That is
Unsurprising.
all I know. All I will tell you.
Well, then I guess the first step is to get below. Unless we have a means of finding a
Below the
layout.
house. Below the house, you mean?
Yes, below the house.
Very well.
Now, I doubt they keep a map laying around of the layout of their secret chambers and tunnels underneath the house. That would be far too handy.
Indeed.
But I'm sure we can figure it out.
I do enjoy your confidence. Now, she steps closer to you. I wouldn't want to deprive you of such lovely attire, but in case you were looking for something more suitable for a heist, I happen to have taken the liberty, and she lifts up a bag, which has black working clothes in it.
That will do perfectly. Much as I love this dress, I'd rather not get it ruined. I did borrow it.
I hope you're not planning to return it.
I'm sure I can find a way to pay her back some other way.
Yes. Well, go on.
Well, I mean, Shae will just start to change. Like she doesn't care. So
Illyra sits down on the throne to watch.
Fair. But yeah, she'll take her time and get into the into her work outfit, and then make sure the various blades that I'm sure she hid on her person somewhere are ready at hand with the new garb. Unfortunately, I couldn't hide my rapier under that dress, but this will do.
Well, we're only looking to steal the scepter, not necessarily kill anyone.
Yeah, but you never know.
True, you never know.
More often than well, unfortunately, these things can go sideways. But
Illyra pulls out her rapier, which is a white Hiziker steel rapier, and just tosses it to you in the same motion.
Are you sure?
Quite. Oh, you'll probably need this too. She tosses you her sword belt.
Yeah, she'll catch that and buckle it on, sheath it. Kind of still looking a little bemused. Of all the things that Illyra has given her or let her use, the rapier has not been one of them. I mean, I think she's still her standard gear, her armor, Shae's, is still Illyra's old working gear.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Question though, did Shae ever get her choker back?
No.
All right, fun. Yeah, she's been a little antsy about that too.
Yep. I believe Artemisia still has that. So.
Okay. Yeah, Shae's been a little less than pleased about that, but it is what it is. All right. Well, with that then, do I take that to mean that you're going to stay up here?
I was thinking that I might provide you a necessary distraction at some point. Not to distract you, to distract those who might be coming after you.
I suppose. Still, it's a pity we won't be working more closely together.
Good things come to those who wait, sweetling.
True enough. I do a lot of waiting, but there's work to do. Well, yeah, I'll start looking for the way down. See if I can find. I'm sure it's behind a bloody bookcase or something.
It's going to involve another investigation check, alas.
Oh, good. Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
That's
watches you, smiling.
only going to be an 11, unfortunately.
So you're moving around the room, tugging on things, pushing buttons, things that you think might be buttons. You get to the very articulate statues. Illyria says, "Would you like some help, sweetling?"
Gods below. If it's under the throne, I'm going to just. This is what she mutters.
So she crosses her legs the other way from the throne and reaches up behind it like this and pulls a little catch behind the throne. And you see the floor start opening up and a stairway appears leading down.
Like Shae's expression is probably the exact look I am giving right now. That kind of course it is.
Illyria goes,
of course.
Hurry back.
I'll do my best. Shae kind of hesitates for a moment. Like, there's more she wants to say, more she wants to do, but then she just walks down the stairs.
Okay, so this might be a good logical time for us to take our little break. We have a 10-minute break in the middle of the game, and we'll come back for what goes on down below. So Yang Yang, cue us up for 10 minutes. Yang Yang is the god in the machine above us and doing all the tech stuff. In the interim, check out our sponsors, watch some ads, play some idle champions, and we will be back soon. Don't go away. And we're back. Hello, everyone. Hail and well met. Welcome back to the continuation and epic conclusion of Shae's one-shot on the Dungeon Scrawlers. Once again,
yeah.
I'm Eric Scutton B. This is Ali Pitchford, the creator and player of Shae Darksong, and one of our wonderful mods, without whom our stream would have crashed and burned long, long ago. So Allie's been instrumental in making this all happen, and it's fun to play with her. So here we go. All right. When last we left Shae, she was headed down a set of steps into the dungeons beneath Athigdal Manor. All right. So your natural dark vision, you have excellent dark vision as a cleric of Illustre, goddess of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And owing to your dark elf heritage. And so the darkness beneath Athigdal Manor is nothing to your vision. You can see through it very easily. There are torches that are burning smokily every so often, and you do see or hear footsteps of patrolling guards in the dark.
Okay.
It seems that they are storing things of great value down here and don't want any of the rabble above to get down and be where they're not supposed to be.
Okay. Well,
You have the advantage of coming down an entrance that most people don't know about, so the guards aren't immediately watching it. If you came down the stairs from the main hall, the servant stairs, you'd probably be accosted immediately. But as it is, no one knows you're there yet.
perfect. Well, Shae will stick to the shadows as
Okay.
best she can. Which, I mean, given her abilities as a shadow dancer, isn't hard.
Investigation was not your strong suit. Stealth, however.
Yeah. No, stealth is in fact, I will roll a stealth right now.
Please do.
I got, let's see. So I rolled a 9, but I have plus 15.
Okay.
So that's a 24 on my
Ooh.
stealth check.
Shae just disappears into the dark.
Yup. So, and then she'll kind of try to keep to the shadows, stay out of the rings of torchlight as best she can.
Great.
And
You
yeah.
have no problem slipping past the guards. Occasionally they'll come by and they're talking about the next fight in the arena and who they're going to put coin on. One of them says the Black Scorpion, definitely. And they're like, I don't know. His star has kind of started to set. I want to see the Bronze Wolf fight again. Yeah, she is really, really skilled, especially when the Crimson Wolf fights with her. And they're like, no, you see, you're misunderstanding. Those two are just friends. And he's like, and then they head off. And Shae just drops down from the ceiling where she was, suspended.
She wouldn't even have to like suspend herself. I keep forgetting this is a thing, but due to what she is, she can literally just walk up the wall and
Exactly.
just sit there,
skitter along the ceiling, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You slip past the guards and you get to what is certainly a vault door.
All right. Well, it's a shame that I have to do this by myself, and I'm sure the shadow has some pithy words, but
I hear you summon me.
Well,
you want some pith, do you? I think one of those guards had an orange. We could take the orange from his dead body and produce some pith that way.
No.
Think about
that was not.
Think about how soft his flesh would be, how succulent.
I'm not eating the guard. She'll try to focus on the vault. Although that was meant as the shadow thing was meant as an out of character comment, but I love that you ran with it anyway.
Well, the shadow is connected to your mind, right? So if it occurred to you, it probably occurred to Shae, and then it, shadow.
Not hard. Mm-hmm. So she'll kind of
Meyer could make someone pissed off. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Fourth wall breaking eye roll.
Anyway.
Right. Shae will start examining the vault door and try to see if there's like a mechanism or some means of opening it, if it requires a combination, if it needs keys, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's definitely a combination, this vault door.
Okay.
Combination locks are fairly rare in Westgate, but they are becoming increasingly in favor among the merchant class. Keys are too easily stolen or replaced or emulated, and people can pick locks, but guessing a combination, a little bit trickier. Phantasmic Ghost has given Shae bling bling. So
Aw.
let's just say that there might be something valuable behind that door.
All right. Nice. Thank you. Well, all right. Shae will kind of grimace when she notices that it's a combination lock, and kind of mutter about how much she hates this particular innovation because it makes her job harder. It's because it's like like I can pick a lock. This is different. But she'll.
There are fundamentally two ways you can do a combination lock. One is you can do an intelligence thieves tools check, or you can do a wisdom thieves tools check. An intelligence thieves tools check would be ascertaining what the combination is based on the evidence. And a wisdom thieves tools check would be, pressing your ear against the wall of the door and listening for the tumblers and things like that. If you're trained in perception, you can make a perception check instead.
Okay. Yeah, I think she'll do that. The perception, especially wisdom, is definitely way better of a stat than intelligence for her.
Yeah.
Not that her int is low, just she's a cleric on top of being a. So yeah, she'll
decent wisdom.
Yeah, pretty decent wisdom. She'll press her ear up against the door, and she will roll her wisdom, her perception, because
Right.
Let's see here. Here we go. Roll. Oh, hello. That would be. I rolled a 19 plus 9, so 28.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely hear those tumblers moving. And you turn the dial slowly until you hear one click into place. And then you start turning it back the other way. And it is at that point that you feel something sharp kind of like touch you on the side of the head by your ear.
She'll lift her hand slightly from the knob.
Well, you realize that there is some kind of insectoid creature climbing off of the door onto your head.
Okay, that's not what I expected.
Okay. So you jerk back.
Yeah, she'll when she realizes that it's an insectoid thing, she'll just kind of like jerk back completely.
Okay. So it sinks its pincers into your ear there, and you now have this metallic insectoid creature clinging to the side of your head as you jerk away. It's tiny. It's about the size of like your hand.
Okay.
But it's just covered in these metal splintery little legs, and it starts poking into you. And Shae, you are gonna take some damage from it stabbing you with its sharp little feet. Ooh, 8 points of damage.
Ow. Okay.
And it's still clinging to you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to get it off. Let's see. What would the best approach? I mean, she might just try to like pull it off, but
yeah, you can either try and pull it off, or you can try and escape, like doing a grapple, escaping from a grapple.
Okay.
So it's either athletics to pull it off, or escape artist to twist free of it.
Let's see. Is escape artist even a?
Oh, it would be an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
Sorry,
oh yeah,
escape artist is from long ago. Anyway.
Yeah, I was like, because I remember escape artist. I was just like, wait, I don't see it on the list here.
Yeah. Acrobatics.
Well, yeah, it'll be acrobatics for her then, because that's also a plus 15.
You know, apparently the new one D&D thing that they're doing has new grapple rules, which are slightly but importantly changed. Anyway, we'll see how that goes.
Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Anyway, all right. What did you
I
get?
rolled a 30.
Okay, so you managed to pull yourself free, and the thing, you toss it aside, and it lands on the wall. It reorients itself on the wall, and it clicks itself at you. You're pretty sure that is a construct of some kind, like a guardian construct.
Great. Well,
It's not making any like loud noise or anything though.
okay. All right. Well,
Waves its sharp little pincers at you, threateningly.
okay. Well, she'll, rapier out, and
Okay. Flames lick along the rapier's blade when you hold it.
definitely not kind of not as familiar with this rapier. Which is it's weird for her too. She's not accustomed to leaving her sword behind, but obviously she couldn't hide it. So she'll, try to stab the thing with the rapier.
Go ahead,
let's
make an
see.
attack roll.
All right.
I should point out, when you encountered Ilra, she was dressed like a swashbuckler, not like a not in like a dress or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Kind of tomboyish mode.
Okay.
That's why she still had her sword buckled on.
That's a 23.
Okay. Yeah, that does indeed strike it.
Nice. And then roll. Oh. So that's gonna be, so I don't know the particulars of this sword, but just with the flat damage roll, that's going to be a 15.
Okay. It does additional fire damage and additional electrical damage, I believe it is.
Okay.
So
how much for each of those?
It's an additional 2 of each of those. So it does 19 total damage.
Okay. All right.
And you spit the thing, and energy goes into it, and it just droops around your sword.
Ugh.
Like you just added a new insect to your collection.
Yeah, she'll pull the weapon out and just kind of toss the construct to the side.
I guess you never really know, do you?
No.
Always good to go armed.
Yeah. She'll... All right. Hopefully there aren't any more of those around. Sheath the weapon again and kind of make sure there aren't any more, just with a quick glance before
Make
going.
A perception check.
All right, perception. All right. So that's going to be a 20.
Okay. You don't see any more.
Okay. So she'll sink back down and start, press her ear to the vaults and start messing with the tumbler again.
Okay. Yep. You click through the last of the combinations, and you hear all the tumblers click into place.
Okay.
And then you can also hear and feel the vibration of the latch coming loose into the door itself.
Okay.
You've unlocked it.
All right. She does get like a little bit excited as it all kind of unlatches. Rubs her hands together. It's like, all right, let's see what's on the other side of this, and starts hauling the door open.
Okay. All right. So inside is a treasure room. There are crates of coins, gems, just stacked around the room. There are pedestals with real fine pieces of art. You get the sense that this is where House Athagdal keeps all of its real treasures. They're expensive and valuable, and you can tell that there's some actual quality to these things.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of coins, overflowing chests, gemstones, like I said. In the center of the room, there is also a central pillar, and on the top, floating slightly above the pillar, is a scepter. And the scepter ends. It's a really big sort of thing. In fact, the head of it is the size of a mace head. Like, you could hit somebody and it could hurt a lot. And it looks like sort of like a skeletal head, slightly elongated, shouting in command. It is kind of a fearsome looking thing, honestly.
Okay.
And it's turning slowly, as though suspended in with some sort of magical effect.
All right, she's gonna look at that and she's just gonna mutter, "You're gonna be a pain to get out of here, aren't you?"
The shadow says, "No, I think you should go touch it immediately. Summon those guards to you. I think they are looking a little too healthy. A little too full of hot blood."
No. You're not being helpful right now.
I could be more helpful if you let me take over.
And you know that's not going to happen.
No, but I want you to know it's always a possibility.
We've been through this. I've seen what you do when you're in charge. We're not doing that. So, she'll kind of, work the kinks out of her neck a little bit, crack her knuckles, look around. Let's see. How are we going to get this thing out of here? So it's suspended by magical effect, but she's also going to look around, see if she can spot anything else that might be some kind of like added security, added effects, that kind of thing. I don't think she has anything that will really let her like, she doesn't have like detect magic or anything, unfortunately, but she can at least keep her eyes open for anything that seems obviously like it might be, something.
Let's see. Okay, well, make an Arcana check.
Arcana. My Arcana is not too bad, actually.
Okay.
Let's roll that. Ooh, 25.
Okay.
I'm not mad about that.
All right. So you might not be able to cast a spell to detect magic, but you are pretty sure that effect is some kind of protective spell. And if you try and remove the scepter, then it will sound an alarm and potentially blast you with some kind of protective warding.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a couple of options. One, you could just grab it and try and dodge whatever happens and then get out of there fast. Or two, you could try and find something that would dispel the magic or replace the scepter before the magic goes off.
Okay. Well, I don't want to bring every guard down on my head right now. So, Shae will look around and try to find something that could suitably stand in its place.
Okay.
So, I'm guessing. Let's see here. What do you think? Investigation or perception to try to find something like that?
Investigation, I think.
Okay. That's my weaker thing, but let's give it a go. Ooh, no. That wasn't what I thought it was. It's only an 11. Investigation
Okay.
is not. It's not my day for investigation.
So there are some objects that are of a similar size and maybe weight, although that scepter does look pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But you realize that perhaps what the magic is keyed off of is the nature of the object, not the size of the object.
Okay.
So that if you put in something powerful and magical, it might accept that as its new thing to protect rather than the scepter.
Okay. Well, the only powerful magical item I have on me is Illyra's sword. I'm not giving it that. So, let's see if there's anything else I can deduce at the moment.
Rumpus already theorized that you should do that. Rumpus often has really good ideas. I'm just saying. Anyway. So you think that would probably work if you did that?
Yeah, but the sword, I don't know. That doesn't seem like a viable choice. Not that it wouldn't work, but I think Shae wouldn't do that. So, she'll look around for other viable options, see if there's anything that's like that really stands out as something that might work.
You're letting your cowardice get in the way again.
I'm not letting my cowardice get in the way.
Here you are trying to be too nice, too compassionate. That woman sent you down here with barely any knowledge or any support.
She also trusted me with a weapon that she has been at her side for God knows how long. I'm not going to give it up like that.
Well, you just have to come back and steal it again, perhaps. I know you're just trying to get in her pants, but honestly, maybe she'll respect you more.
I don't think betraying her trust is going to make her respect me. I love her. I'm not going to do that.
Did she tell you not to leave the rapier down here?
No, but she trusted me with its use.
Very well. The longer you take, the more likely the guards will arrive, and then we shall have fun. The scepter's face seems to be kind of like cackling at you as it slowly turns.
Don't need this from you. Like she'll say that. She'll just point that because it looks like it's laughing at her. She'll be like, "I don't need this right now." So she'll look around. Is there anything that looks like it might have a suitable degree of power?
You don't see any other magic items that are obviously magic items. Just a lot of gold and jewels and art objects.
Okay.
That bling bling that phantasmic ghost got you is definitely just a bunch of coin and stuff. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Phantasmic Ghost. I cannot let you destroy my planned encounter.
That's fair.
I do appreciate you helping, though. That's very nice. So yeah, as you're looking around, you idly pocket a few very valuable gemstones, which are light but valuable.
That's fair. She'll kind of mutter herself, what's the over-under on her never forgiving me if I leave her fucking sword here? I'm sorry, that was my one. The shadow can, of course, reply if it desires.
Well, are you trying to get over her or under her? Maybe that's the real question.
I'm trying to make things better.
Better.
Well, what? I'm not supposed to try to mend whatever rift has been created? To make things right?
Be decisive.
Be decisive.
Prove to her that you are strong and independent. Make her come to you. You don't need to keep following her around.
It's not as if I follow her around because I can't make decisions on my own.
Yes, you have me.
Yes, and a lot of help you've been.
I have been a great deal of help. You just haven't listened.
And here I thought I had control of you.
More the fool you.
Yes, well. Either I leave her weapon here and break the trust she placed in me in giving it to me, or I bring all the guards down on my head.
You're going to do something stupid and noble, aren't you? I thought you were a thief. I thought that was the point of this.
Thieves can't be noble and good.
I suppose you have a point. Not that I like it. Fine. Leave me instead.
Leave you?
Yes. I have to say it again. Can you not hear me through your brain? Leave me instead.
How would that even work? You're a part of me.
Not necessarily.
And what happens to me if I leave you behind?
You have no shadow. People assume you're a vampire when they're half right.
And I would be able to come back for you later.
I should assume so. If I'm still here.
She will mutter some very creative curses in Undercommon.
You can make an insight check if you want to. That might help.
Yeah, I'll make an insight check there.
Okay.
My insight's pretty good. So I'll roll. Okay, 21.
All right. The shadow, you seem to have swayed the shadow slightly. Like, the shadow might be evil. It's definitely evil.
Oh, for sure.
But it respects your resolve. So that's why it has offered this other solution in the as close as it gets to good faith. Like you get a note of respect out of the shadow.
All right. She'll kind of will it to detach.
Yep, sure enough, it detaches. And then it kind of forms into its own physical form, shadowy, translucent. It looks like you, except that it's wearing this red scarf over its face.
Of course.
Yeah, it looks like the darkest Westgate Shae, because it is the darkest Westgate Shae.
Well, I don't remember you looking like this the last time, but I suppose things have changed.
I look as I wish. Not as you would wish.
Fair enough. It's certainly a far sight better than that Drider monster you were originally.
Well, can I help it that your original shadow was so repressed that it became so powerful? Maybe if you didn't listen to me longer, I would be more powerful and then I could become a Drider monster thing.
Yes, well, perhaps I've learned to accept you more.
I'm touched.
Well, I won't leave you down here forever. I do need you, so...
Well, at least we agree on one thing. I need you as well. Without the light, what is the shadow?
Precisely. Well then.
Well then.
Let's go ahead and do this.
Okay, so the shadow stuff kind of condenses, just draws in, closes tight into a single point, kind of molds and stretches and becomes a dagger. It's a little red gemstone.
All right. She'll
Oh, it feels super evil.
Ugh. All right. Well, with that in hand, Shae will go up to the what the scepter is resting on, and
It's resting on the air.
it's resting on the air, but like there was something
There's
underneath it, right?
golden magic that from the
Okay.
pillar that's supporting it.
Yeah.
So
she'll
you're
go up to
like,
the little pillar.
is this Indiana Jones moment?
Yeah, exactly. Do her best Indiana Jones thing and just try to swap it out as quickly as possible.
Make a sleight of hand check, please.
Okay.
Now, I know all of you people who play rogues are like, sleight of hand, when am I going to use that? Well, it's not just for pickpocketing.
Yeah. That's only a 16.
16 is still a pretty good result. Okay, you grab the scepter.
Mhm.
There's this jolt of electrical energy that flows through and down your arm. And it's going to do some damage to you.
Okay.
You weren't quite fast enough to pull it all the way out. 12 points of electrical damage. 12 points of damage.
Okay.
You pull the scepter aside and you put the dagger in. The scepter is still jolting you slightly, but the shock fades. And now you are holding the scepter. It is very heavy. Are you proficient in maces? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I think clerics are proficient. Yeah. So yeah, you've hefted things like this before, but it is essentially like a battle mace of cold forged iron. Really, really heavy. You could do some serious damage to somebody with that. The dagger starts floating and turning slightly. You no longer feel the presence of the shadow in your mind.
I'll be back. She'll
the dagger
head
makes
out.
No reply. Just continues to float.
She'll
okay.
Head out of the vault then.
All right. So you turn around, and sure enough, there's Illira standing there. Well, obviously, I followed you.
Obviously.
I think you did very well, Moonbeam.
Thank you.
You could have left my sword.
You trusted me with it. I didn't want to betray that.
I appreciate that. I wouldn't have held it against you.
I know, but
that is one of the things that I love about you, is your noble spirit. It's something that has always drawn me. She steps closer to you, and she reaches up and she takes off her blue sapphire necklace, and she puts it around your neck. I have nothing more to teach you, Moonbeam.
All right. Don't you need this?
No longer. Well, it's complicated, but let us just say that the person I have worn this to hide from for so long is indisposed. Possibly dead, but I have not seen him, and neither have any of my agents. I don't know why I'm being coy about it. I guess I'm just so accustomed to it. You know how I have had you keeping tabs on Lilton and his children?
Yes.
And you know how you haven't been able to find any information about him recently?
Yes.
I have reason to believe that he is gone. And with him gone, I do not need to hide anymore.
I guess that's fair.
I wish to retire.
Retire?
Yes. I have been chasing my youth for far too long. And, well, my wife was just named Crowmark of Westgate, so I suspect I'm going to have additional duties to fulfill. And she's tied to a criminal, I suspect that will only cause her problems. So I think you are a better wearer of this shroud.
All right.
Besides, you've exceeded my own prowess. You are as powerful as I have ever been.
I see. Well, thank you, but what I've spent all this time, as your right hand. But it's more than that. Like, what is this? What does this mean?
She draws herself up to her full height, which is still a little bit shorter than Shae. This means that we are equals, Shae Darksong. You are no longer in my shadow. You are no longer my right hand. You are the hand in my hand.
Shae will, reach out and take her hand, not even hesitating, just because she knows that it won't hurt her unless Illyra wants it to.
Yeah, it just tingles a little bit. She says, I no longer wish to hold you back.
You never did. You've taught me everything I know. At least, everything that I didn't, pick up by myself on the streets, like running around. I had no direction before I came here. Now I know at least until recently who I am. My head might be a bit scattered, but I guess I wonder if it won't look good for your wife to be tied to a criminal, how will it look for you?
I hadn't given that any thought, but that's mostly because I don't care. I don't care how it will look for me. I don't care what anyone thinks. I care about you.
I care about you too. I mean, I always have.
She smiles. Well,
even when you disappear, even when you won't tell me what's happening, I stuck by. I care, but I don't. It's never been enough to make me want to go away.
She lays her hand over Shae's heart. This is a noble heart, one that I have never deserved, but you have still given it to me freely, and it has meant a great deal to me. And no, this does not mean that you have to leave. It does mean that I can't tell you that you have to stay.
I choose to stay. I'm not going to leave you now. I know things got tense for a little while. I know that it felt like a rift had formed. But I always wanted to fix that, to bridge that gap, because that's what you mean to me.
And we shall do so.
Good. So no, there's a lot of things you haven't told me, and you may never tell me. And honestly, at this point, your secrets are yours to keep. I'll listen if you ever feel like telling me what's going on, but more than anything, I'm just going to be here because this is where I want to be.
Very well. Can I have my sword back?
Of course. She'll draw it and hand it back. Sword belt. Well, what she'll do is she'll unbuckle the sword belt and hand that back.
Is this construct goo on my sword?
It is. I
Like-
got attacked. I got attacked by the little thing on the way in.
The earworms.
Is that what they're called?
I haven't encountered one of those in 50 years. I thought no one used those anymore.
It wasn't wasn't much of a challenge.
No, it's probably very old.
More than likely. She'll look back at the floating dagger. You're gonna have to come back for that.
Do you? I think we could get you a new shadow somewhere else.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be denying a part of myself?
I suppose it would. I have worn
Besides-
many shadows, you know.
I know.
Hmm.
But I'm done pretending that parts of me aren't parts of me. I mean, I faced that thing down. I gained control over it and I accepted it. I might as well keep it.
Very well.
But unless we happen to have another powerful magic object we're willing to put in its place, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that right now.
You said unless. What's the other alternative?
Well,
She
I
just
mean-
reaches out and takes it.
and,
And, and there's this burst of sound and like an alarm goes off. And Laura says, oops.
well, then we'd better run.
Woof, she dissolves into the shadows.
Yeah, Shae just, Shae just goes
Ah!
with her. Just, steps in the shadows and disappears.
Just start booking it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, yep. It is a harrowing escape from the dungeons under House Athagdal. And you have certainly caused a certain stir. But eventually you get back to the Purple Lady, where Illyra is waiting there with 2 drinks, one for her and one for you. This one is definitely to your taste because though she may seem not to pay attention, Illyra definitely pays attention.
All right. Shae will be a little flustered from the sudden need to book it, but she'll take the drink and relax a little and just be like, well, that was not what I expected, but I suppose I should expect anything.
Fun though, yes?
Very. Sometimes a little chaos is the kind of fun I need.
So what will you do now? Out of curiosity. Your assignment to watch the Westgate Irregulars is done. I am no longer your teacher, your mistress, your, well, master.
I'm sure some of those are negotiable, but
Perhaps.
I suppose if you're retiring, someone's going to have to step up.
Yes, I'm practically an old woman now. You know that I'm nearly 200 years old.
200. I know. Though I'd hardly call that old for us.
No, it's not the age, it's the distance.
True enough. And I suppose, given who we both are, given who we've always spent most of our time around, the scale of time is a little different for the two of us.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up here. Like, it was a long time before I met another elf, that's for sure.
I grew up everywhere, but many of my years were spent here. Not the best. I made poor decisions. I'm sure you've made poor decisions. Some good
Yeah.
decisions.
Certainly some good.
Did I ever tell you how I came by my name?
No, I don't think you did.
Well, I've come by many names over the course of my life. Ilra is the name I was born with. My parents gave me that name. Nathalin comes from a very good friend who I never wed, was never related to, but I carry his name to honor him. Such an idiot. I'm not sure why I have this name, but I like the sound of it. But the name I mean is the Fox at Twilight.
I suspected as much, but tell me, how did you come by it?
Long ago, before you were born, I was in a shipwreck and I washed up on the shores of a place far to the north and west of here, a place called Spine of the World, in fact. And, well, there was a clan of people, humans, muscular, hairy, strong. You'd like them. And they adopted me, for I provided some assistance in my own particular dexterous way. Stop looking at me like that. It wasn't like that. I was a girl at the time. But I was clever and fast and sneaky, particularly at dusk. And so, hence my name, the Fox at Twilight, is what they refer to me. There is a word in the Uthgard tongue that corresponds to this, but I've never been able to pronounce it. It's a strange language. Whatever possessed our ancestors to make overtures to the humans of Netheril, I will never know. But it is essentially a human name that I lived under for most of my life. But I was thinking that it's time to leave it behind. Or perhaps to give it away. Obviously, I can't call you the same thing. That would just be silly. But I was thinking moon at twilight? For that moment when Selune rises before the sun has set and casts her wisdom on a world about to dream.
I kind of like the sound of that.
Well then. I so christen thee.
And so I accept.
You're going to have to earn that, you know. Go forth and do heroics. Save the world a few times. Make poor choices.
I will. I'll keep doing that. At least until I get a little tired of it myself. But I don't see that coming for quite some time.
Yes, you are young yet. Far older than most people you'll meet, but young yet.
Young for us, certainly. Indeed. I mean, there are plenty of our kind that would still see me as barely more than a child.
So Nira comes over and she brings you more drinks. She's like, okay, I think I got it this time.
I'm sure you did. She'll, Shae will take the drink and try it. How is it?
Oh, I got to roll again. Ooh, she rolled a 17 this time.
Okay, so it's decent.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you're getting close. This is good.
Okay, she beams. Her red-tinted cheeks turn pink, and then she heads off. Illyra says, yes, crushing hearts already, I see.
Yes, well, mine will always be yours.
Don't promise me something like that. I only want part of it.
A part of it, then.
Part of it, then.
Well, maybe now, with you retired, or retiring,
Oh, don't say it
and
so often. It makes me feel ancient. I'm going to crumble to dust at any moment.
I'm sure you'll be fine. I was about to say, perhaps now you can take me to more nice places. Perhaps I can take you to some.
I think you'd better.
I think I will. So I suppose life's about to get very busy for me, too.
No doubt.
I mean, she kind of motions around at the purple lady. We'll have to keep this running. All of the networks of agents and informants. It's a lot.
Indeed, especially with the limitations of being legitimate. I'm starting to regret this already.
Well, I mean, just because you're going legitimate doesn't mean that I have to limit myself in such a manner.
She raises her glass. Exactly.
Well, everything's changing.
Yes. But perhaps not everything has to change.
No.
Although I had probably better change into something more comfortable
Shae will.
or non-existent.
I like the way you think.
I could really use a bath as well. I don't suppose you could use a bath as well.
I think I might.
Then
Shall we
I
retire for the evening?
I believe we shall moon at twilight.
And that sounds lovely, Lady Nathalin.
And the two of you retire arm in arm and head upstairs. And that's a great place to leave things. So I feel like you've done some reconciliation and addressed some outstanding issues, and you did get your shadow back. So your shadow's still there, sulking in the corner while you were having an excellent bath.
It can sulk.
Also, your belt pouches at the foot of the bathtub are bulging with jewels that you happen to have picked up while you were in the vault. So, yeah, you have some drinking money. Anyway, so that would be all the time we have for tonight. I have been Eric Scott DeBee, the DM of the Westgate Irregulars campaign, brought to you by the Dungeon Scrawlers. We have things that I'm going to tell you about, but at first I'm going to thank again our special guest star, Allie Pitchford, playing Shae Darksong. Take it away, Allie.
Well, thank you, everybody. I'm Allie, Alexander Pitchford. I am an author and game designer, and I currently have a short story coming out in the anthology Never Too Old to Save the World called The Sun Spear, which is the first published story set in my Greymantle setting.
Yep.
I also have
Check it out for previews of what is to come on this very channel.
Exactly. I also have a novella that I'm writing chapter by chapter on my Patreon called The Phantomere Job, which will be a heist story in and of itself, featuring the character the Silver Sparrow, who shows up also in the Sun Spear. And yeah, that's one. We've got a chapter up already. Another short story of mine called Droma Station, which is a sci-fi story, is now also on my Patreon. And honestly, the first chapter of the Phantomir job is presently free to anyone who wants to go to my Patreon and check it out. So I can throw up a link to that in our Discord.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's it right now. I'm good.
Great. Yeah, check out forthcoming games, which are going to feature Allie and myself potentially. We'll see how that goes on.
We'll see.
Gray Mantle is a really neat setting that I'm having a great time talking to Allie about. It's mostly her brainchild, but I have a few little points and stuff to put in there, and it's coming together really well. I'm really excited. Okay, I just wanted to point out we are still raising money for our new Dungeon Scrawlers art. So toss us a few bucks on Ko-fi if you have a chance. That would be really great. We are trying out that Twitch charity thing to raise money for the International Rescue Committee. So far, we've raised a couple of donations, which is great. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's essentially it. I want to toss out a couple more shout outs since we have a couple more minutes. Thank you to Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, our sponsor. Thank you to Phoenix Dice and Norse Foundry for the excellent dice that they produce and occasionally bestow upon us, making it rain awesome dice. More giveaways will be coming in subsequent weeks. For the meantime, if you do !Phoenix Dice or !Norse Foundry, it will hook you up with discount codes for going and purchasing some of their excellent products. So you should definitely check that out. I want to give a brief shout out to Aaron M. Evans's novel, Empire of Exiles, which is its release date is early November. Pre-orders are open now. You should be able to find a link to that here on the Twitch. And it is going to be an excellent book. Aaron's real excited about it. We're all real excited about it. We're going to keep talking about it. It's going to be great. And on that note, I guess that's it. So thanks.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate you coming with us on this journey. And thank you so much to Allie for your hard work and for not just for this game, but for the stream in general. And you've really helped us develop and made it so much better over the couple of years that we've been doing this. And I look forward to continuing to work with you and continuing to game with you, obviously.
Likewise.
So, yeah. So, thanks everybody. Have a good night, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
Until